one of the most talked about topics, and I kind of just want to get it out the way, was we have one of our co-hosts, co-hosts, TJ Dillashaw. He's always on the podcast. And you guys set one of the greatest rivalries the UFC has ever seen, from the talking to the fighting to the way you guys built up the fight. But you brought, like I said, this new edge, like this attitude, this excitement again. We haven't seen excitement like that since maybe Chuck Liddell and Tito, or maybe when Rampage beat Vanderlei. And, you know, we didn't see a lot of those kind of, what do we call these nowadays? Like rivalries in a way. I understand it's a fixed fight. It's not like you guys are fighting in a bar, but it's a true rivalry, you know? And I kind of want to just break it down how it even started.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unravel with this, you know. TJ and I were former teammates. He ended up leaving the gym, going a separate way. You know, I always was like, hey, he had Dwayne, so he followed Dwayne to Colorado, did his thing. They had a team out there. It was never in my mind that we, you know, would have that kind of rivalry. I was like, maybe we'll fight. You know, he's tough, he's skilled, he works hard. You know, a very talented fighter. And then it came into, I think, the team, the drama with everything. Me being 25 years old, world champion, couldn't tell me anything, you know what I mean? Couldn't tell me anything at that point in time, you know. So for me to have that fight with TJ, I knew what I was up against, knew, you know, the training, what I had to get ready for, you know, just becoming the world champion in the same calendar year. My whole life changed. I went from unranked to world champion the same year. I was literally borrowing money off my adopted father for our dinners at the before the fight, to where I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to fight, check the check. I don't have to fight, you know, fight the fight, you know, live, fight the fight. And, you know, world champion and all other things, you know, with WME coming in, the movie deals, all these other stuff that were thrown at me that I didn't necessarily care for. I just wanted to fight. That's what that's what I love to do. It was never motivated by money, because I never had money. It was to be the best. That's what saved me in my life. Was the light at the end of the tunnel was being a world champion. You know, for me, especially doing it at 25 was pretty amazing. I got signed to the UFC at 23, and you know, then with the whole TJ situation, I looked up to TJ. I thought he was you know, he was one of those guys that trained hard, always in the gym, always working hard. You know, and then the split, and then I think you know, the big drawn out dramatic stuff was the teammates and how it was and how all it happened. And it was the Ultimate Fighter with Conor coming out and saying that, and we really didn't know, you know, the big scheme of what was going on with TJ, and you know, because he was telling us that he's still on the team, this and that. Like I said, like he had that relationship with Dwayne, you know. That's your head coach, that's your coach. They trained all the time together. That was what he did. He felt good with him. Dwayne went back home to Colorado with his family. You know, you can't blame a guy for that. You know, I just moved to Vegas because my son moved there. You know, I had to leave my team. It sucks. I miss Team Alpha Male so much. You know, it's a good brotherhood, good just training facility up there, good just program. You know, I went there at 1-0. I was 1-0. I had a year off. I broke my hand. I had some vertigo problems in 2012. I'm like, why am I not wasting this time? You know, I want to see how good I am. So I'm going to go out to Team Alpha Male. They had the best flyweights, bantamweights, featherweights. I mean, it was stacked when I went out there. It was, Chad Mendez, Uriah was at the top. TJ was getting his shot. Joe Benavidez, Danny Castillo, Holdsworth. I mean, the list goes on and on. Andre Feely, Palmer was out there. I mean, it was every day you was like kind of like a survival, like to make it through the camps and being in there. So just being around those guys was phenomenal, and just having that brotherhood. So I think how close we were, and to see how everyone kind of just drifted away and took sides when TJ left, and then like I was getting ready to fight TJ. So it was a weird position to be in. You know what I mean? I have no animosity towards TJ, and then we fought twice. He bested me in 2 fights, but won't throw any shade right there because it's in the past. But I'm still here in the UFC, still trying to get back to the top. Fighting's a crazy career. Life itself, but then you throw this into it.
Yeah.
As Rampage can say, especially when you tasted being a world champion, all you want to do is think about that instead of like being engaged in right now. I was always, when I lost the title, it was like, oh, get this fight back, you're fighting for the title. Instead, it's like, hey, look what's in front of you. Look, be engaged in the now. So it was just getting back to that. So I think that's why it was just a big rivalry, and especially it was no bantamweights, lower weights had kind of a big rivalry like that. It was always, heavyweights, lightweights, So I think that we pushed the needle a lot with that. And then obviously doing the Ultimate Fighter, I already knew what that situation was going to be. But, you know, Dana promised me a G65 G-Wagon. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know? So, you know, it was just a fast-paced life after having the title to going and doing so many other things. And then obviously getting injured. I was out for almost a whole year before I fought TJ. You know, we had to keep postponing the fight. Flew to Germany, had some procedures in Vegas and LA, ended up tearing my back. So that whole thing, you know, for me, I just wanted to defend my title. I didn't want to have the division held up. And, you know, obviously, you know, the division was rising and growing so much with such good talent that, you know, as a champion, you want to defend your title, you know, and see how good you are. So just, I think, combination of everything made it just a huge rivalry when TJ fought.